Welcome everyone, James here. In today's video, we're going to be checking out my reef tank here, my macroalgae lagoon, which isn't really much of a macroalgae tank at the moment because a lot of it seems to have died back since I moved the aquarium from my house into the shed. I'm having such great success at the moment moving my tanks. But yeah, what I wanted to talk about today is this aquarium and sort of how it's been going, and something that I've been working on, which is a DIY sump. So I don't know if you can see it, but it's right in the background there. It's a sump for the aquarium, and I'm hoping that it's going to help sort of filter better than what the hang-on filter is over here, because that one seems to be causing me a lot of algae at the moment, and I think it's due to the poor flow that a hang-on filter gives. In the circumstance of this one, it sort of seems to be pushing a lot of the water downwards, but it doesn't seem to be like circulating the water very well. I've tried it on the back and also on the sides, and it doesn't seem to be making too much difference, so I thought I'd give a sump a go. Essentially, the original idea was to have a canister filter, but due to like funds and things like that, it's just not been feasible to have at the moment. So I thought, had a spare aquarium kicking around, one that I picked off a social media site, and it was only cost me £5, so I thought, why not give it a go? Alright everyone, so now the lights are off and it's looking a bit cooler in here. This is the tank. Its inhabitants are doing really well. It's just, I'm going through a problem algae phase, which I'm hoping is starting to die off now, but it's caused a lot of problem with my corals. As you can see, my hammerhead coral isn't too happy since I done a massive water change, and I think that's just massively upset it. Started to come out a little bit better now, but it was looking awesome at one point. My green star polyp is starting to come out now. I've changed the flow on this tank, which is really great. The zoas are, you know, we're doing really well, and then as you can see in the background or between them, there's a lot of algae which I've been having to pick out, and some of the rocks have had various bits of algae. There's a few Aptasia in there as well, which I need to get rid of. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, the tank is sort of starting to balance itself out, but it has been a massive problem for me. Don't know if anyone's noticed as well, as like I said, this was called a macroalgae lagoon, and I did have lots of macroalgae in there. I had Caulerpa racemosa, which all died off, went sexual, and yeah, just removed all. I have Caulerpa prolifera, but as you can see, it's just absolutely caked in algae at the moment, which has been a real pain. And I have a little green bush algae there in the background, and that one is probably the only thing that's doing well, and I managed to cut some of that and move it into a different tank. Fish wise, everybody's doing great. I mean, they're all happy in there. My new little pajama cardinal, which I've had for a little while now, it seems happy enough in there as well and doing really well. So it's just a case of finding the balance for this tank again. Anyway, onto the sump then. So I don't know if you can see at the top there, this is all temporary, by the way. I'm planning on tidying this up as we go along. For the moment, just as a test sort of phase, this is kind of what the intake and outtake have been. So this is the outflow area, and it's got a pipe going out there, and that is the water going out into the sump. I tried to keep the pipe as high as I could towards the water level, so if the pump failed from in the sump over there, then hopefully this won't just randomly fill up with loads of water. It'll hit that cut-off point then, and instead of flooding my whole fish room, hopefully that's my contingency. So we'll see how it goes, but it seems to be doing okay so far. And like I said, the pipes go all the way round here. Again, I'm going to be tidying all of this up, and this is just a little temporary light, but this is essentially the sump. So like I said, all it is a cheap little aquarium. I wanted to do this proper DIY, and inside you can see I have some filter floss, a bit of live rock. That is a Hugger aquarium pump, just pushing the water from here into the aquarium. It's 800 litres per hour. I've got some live rock in there, some macroalgae, and some activated carbon. I might, as time goes on, once I've tidied everything up, add some critters in there, some hermit crabs or something, just to sort of tidy up the tank and keep the water clear. But again, seems to be doing okay. I'm hoping I'm going to be able to grow some macroalgae in there as well. I've got some Caulepa prolifera that I took from the main tank, and I'm hoping to try and grow it out in here as well. As you can see, that the green bush algae seems to be sort of reaching for the light, so if I get a stronger light on here, hopefully that'll be really good. But yeah, I'm pretty impressed by how it turned out. I went on YouTube and sort of looked at a few various videos on how to do one of these, and it was a bit confusing about how you do it when you don't have a outflow pipe going directly underneath your aquarium, because most people that have a reef tank will probably have a hole drilled in the bottom of this, and then their sump will be underneath. But as you can see, I've got aquariums there, and I don't really particularly want to drill a hole into this one, so I'm relying on a side sump, effectively using the same sort of method. So gravity going in where the water's coming out, and then a pump pushing the water back in. So we'll see how it goes. It was a bit difficult to find the balance as well between that aquarium sort of emptying or filling up, and the same for this one. I had I don't know if you can see under this drip tray here, I have a valve here. Now this came from a gravel vac, which you could control the flow of the gravel vac, and it had a valve on it, so it seems to be really handy, and all that's doing is just pushing water into the aquarium. This sump has been running now for just over a week, and it seems to be going okay. Again, I just wanted to check the balance and make sure that I didn't end up flooding the place, and seeing if the actual setup worked. Turns out it's doing really well, so I'm really pleased with that. The hang-on filter I do plan on moving, and all the filter media that's currently in there, so there's just a couple of sponges at the moment and some bio balls, I'm going to take out of there and put into there, just to give it more power. And I'm also going to be removing the large aquarium heater in the back there and put in maybe either the same heater if it fits, or I've got a smaller one that should do fine in this tank. It's not a massive aquarium, so it shouldn't need too much heating. The only thing that I need to sort of buy, I think, going forward, once I've sorted out the sort of the outputs and the sort of the flow, is a new wave maker, because that one is god awful and doesn't work really. It's amazing because the impeller's spinning around. I've cleaned this thing so many times. You clean it, works for about half a day, and then it just dies and it just spins around, but there is no water, there's no flow going there or anything, so it's just really annoying. So I need to get something that's a bit more powerful to keep the circulation of the tank going better, and hopefully that might help reduce my algae. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's not much going on here, but as it's something brand new that I've set up, and the first time I've really done something proper DIY, I guess, I wanted to show everybody sort of how I got on. And since the videos online were a bit confusing, I know that it's only a sump, and most people will probably go, oh, that was really easy, but I don't know, I found it a little bit confusing because I didn't have the pipe going down, and I wasn't sure if I was supposed to have another out pipe, a pump, sorry, going out of the aquarium into the sump, and then a pump in the sump to go out. But turns out that with a valve on the output and able to control the amount of water going into the aquarium from the pump, then it didn't need another pump there, so it was just a bit overkill. But it was there wasn't a lot of videos sort of explaining it, so that's part of the reason of this video, sort of showing you what I've done so far, and also what my plans are sort of to upgrade it. I want to get a filter sock in there, keep the debris as well as the floss in there, more filter media, more macroalgae, maybe some inhabitants. But yeah, it's just the start of the process. It's good to talk about it. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and let me know what you think of my DIY sump in the comments below. If you think that I need to be doing anything to change it, or sort of things to look out for to help support the channel, or the links to my merch store, my Patreon, all of that are in the description below. Like I said, make sure you like the video, hit the subscribe button if you want to see more updates like this, and until next time, you stay safe. Alright guys, for those of you who have stuck around, I was going to leave this for a later episode, but since filming the video, I've actually done a bit more to the aquarium, so I thought I'd do a little bit of a bonus bit. So I've added a spray bar in there just to add more oxygen and sort of a bit more air. I've also moved the heater in there. This is the one from the main tank. It's a little bit big, so I might use my smaller tank heater. I have also moved a few bits and pieces around. You can't really see, but on the output of the siphon hose there, I've just added a little sponge filter onto the end of the hose just to sort of filter through a bit more, and onto the floss there, the filter floss. So yeah, just a little bit extra. Tidied up the pipe work a little bit. Still not great, but yeah, I just thought I'd add this as a little bonus extra.